Lopez was easily the best-looking teacher at our school. So sometimes I gave her compliments like, "Miss Lopez, you look stunning today." "Oh, thank you. That means a lot coming from a handsome boy like you." She gave me a kiss on my cheek, and my classmates were shocked. How could a teacher flirt so openly with her student? Well, for the school's Christmas party, Miss Lopez came dressed like a stripper Santa. I'm not exaggerating. The principal even made her change her outfit because it was too short. That's the kind of woman she was. But then I failed my Spanish exam and asked Miss Lopez if she would let me pass the course anyway. She responded, "Okay, let's make a deal. I will give you a B+ on your report card if you give me a compliment that makes me blush." "Oh, well, that's easy, Miss Lopez, because you are so beautiful that I would date you even if you were my own daughter." I wondered if I had gone too far, but she bursted out laughing and said, "You little perv, you have such a dirty mind. But okay, I'll let you pass the course." Maybe we flirted too much, though, because rumors spread that Miss Lopez and I were having an affair. The guys thought it was cool and gave me props, but one girl couldn't take it. My annoying girlfriend, Whitney. She completely freaked out when Miss Lopez told me, "I can't believe you haven't found a girlfriend yet. You are such a cutie."
I am his girlfriend, and now stop hitting on him, you shameless tramp!
"What? He is dating you? What a shame. He could do so much better." If that wasn't mean enough, Miss Lopez asked me to stay for a private talk after class. Problem was that Whitney refused to leave my side. She said,
You are just a sad old lady who can't find a guy. That's why you're trying to steal my boyfriend away from me.
"Oh, I can have any man I want. But your boyfriend and I have a special connection. I just can't get him out of my mind." As revenge, Whitney drew an unflattering caricature of her on the blackboard. When Miss Lopez saw it, she immediately said, "Whitney, did you draw that?"
Huh? Why? Does the drawing remind you of someone?
"Look, if you have a problem with my clothing style, just tell it to my face."
That's not a style. It's an embarrassment.
"Well, why don't we ask the guys? Hey, listen up. If you think I'm better dressed than Whitney, please raise your hand." All the boys sided with Miss Lopez, and Whitney got so mad I had to stop her from throwing her water bottle at her. And the following week, we went on a 3-day class trip. We wanted to do a canoe tour, so Miss Lopez split us up into teams of 2. When I was left without a partner, she said, "Looks like we are together, my cutie."
No way! My boyfriend stays with me.
Actually, I am the teacher, and I get to decide. Whitney threw a huge tantrum, and Miss Lopez was forced to call her parents so they would pick her up. But first, Whitney took me aside and said,
Promise me to stay away from that witch.
"I can't. She's my teacher."
And I am your girlfriend, and you do what I tell you to do.
But, of course, I didn't. The canoe tour was awesome. Miss Lopez wore a hot sundress, and we had a nice chat. "There's something wrong with your girlfriend." "Yeah, she's kind of annoying." "Have you ever dated a real woman? Not just a girl?" "I don't think so. Not yet." "Well, I think I can change that. What do you think? Can you put some sunscreen on my shoulders?" Touching and massaging her skin felt so good. But we didn't go any further. Not even a little kiss. Only on the last night of our trip, Miss Lopez came to my bed and whispered, "I want you to act sick tomorrow morning, so we can stay here another night while everyone else drives home." She didn't have to ask twice. I pretended to have a bad stomachache, and then Miss Lopez came into the dorm saying, "Oh, my poor baby, you look awful. You are not fit to go in the bus and drive home. But don't worry, I will take care of you." It was perfect. Once everyone was gone, Ms. Lopez put her arms around me and kissed me on my mouth. We kept going for hours until I got a message from Whitney asking,
Why didn't you come back home? You were sick.
Of course I didn't respond. Ms. Lopez was more important than my girlfriend. But in the evening, we went to a pub, and that's when Whitney stormed in. She threw Miss Lopez to the ground and screamed,
There you are! Seducing teenagers! You should go to prison for the rest of your life!
"Stop it, Whitney! I'm 18. Ms. Lopez and I can do whatever we want. Yeah, listen to your boyfriend. He likes me more than you. Yeah, listen to your boyfriend. He likes me more than you. She leaned over and started kissing me again. It was so good, but then Whitney pulled Ms. Lopez's hair again, and they started fighting over me. It was a lot of fun to watch, but I had to separate them. Whitney, go home. I'm breaking up with you. Ha! You lost. Your boyfriend chose me because I'm way hotter than you. That's when Whitney started crying. I felt bad and wanted to give her a hug, but Ms. Lopez stepped between us and threw her beer all over Whitney. You get what you deserve, chica. Then Miss Lopez took me to her room, and we made out until sunrise. It was the best night of my life, even though I still felt guilty. When I got back home, I immediately messaged Whitney. I'm sorry for how I treated you, and I hope I haven't hurt you too badly. She responded with photos of Ms. Lopez's car. The windows were smashed, and the whole car was covered in graffiti with nasty words on it. I guess women are just crazy when it comes to dating men.
Hey, I'm Liz, and ever since I can remember, my mom was always feeding me. I guess she thought I looked cuter when I was chubby, which is fine when you're a toddler. But by the time I was 9, I already weighed 120 pounds. As I got older, I got even fatter. I was so overweight, I had to use a special chair that wouldn't break under my weight during high school. It was so embarrassing, and the other kids were always teasing me because I was so large. No one wanted to sit next to me because they said I'd squash them. But the lowest moment was when my 10-year-old sister, Katie, invited a friend over. When her friend saw me, her eyes widened in shock, and she asked, "What is that?" My sister Katie blushed, and she said, that's no one. Let's go to my room. You won't have to look at her there." Wow, I was so overweight, my own sister was ashamed of me. After her friend left, Katie said sorry for treating me like that, but it was fine. I know she loves me just as much as I love her, so I couldn't be mad at her. She's just a kid who didn't know how to handle the situation. No, I was to blame for what happened. I felt like I'd let my sister down. And to make things worse, Katie wasn't exactly slim either, because our mom was feeding her too much as well. That's when I decided I had to lose weight and keep it off, not just for myself, but also to set an example for my sister. I'd tried to diet before by eating 1 meal a day, not just for myself, but also to set an example for my sister. I'd tried to diet before by eating 1 meal a day, but I just got really hungry, then ate even more food to make myself feel better. I knew I had to be organized and put together a plan for success. So I ordered 10 books about nutrition and weight loss. After I'd read them all, I had a much better understanding about how to lose weight, and I realized I didn't have to starve myself, but instead I just had to eat the healthy food, which would also make me feel full, and I also needed some exercise. My weight loss was slow but steady, and once I started seeing my weight go down, it gave me the motivation I needed to stick with my plan. It took 2 years to go from 300 pounds to 106 pounds, my dream weight. I won't lie though, I did it more for my sister than myself. I wanted to show her that she can break the cycle of obesity and live a healthy lifestyle too. Now we cook together almost every day, and she's already looking slimmer. In a funny way, being obese was a gift, because I've learned so much about how to be fit and healthy because of my weight. Right now, I help other overweight people by coaching them to do what I did. I really want to make a difference. I'm hoping that someday I might become a professional weight loss coach. That would be awesome. I'm hoping that someday I might become a professional weight loss coach. That would be awesome. But for now, I'm studying at college and train at the gym 5 times a week. I've been going there for about 18 months now, and my body looks amazing. In fact, I was spotted at the gym by a talent scout, and last month I did some modeling for a big sportswear brand, with a second photo shoot booked next week for another fitness company. I was even featured in Women's Health magazine. It was so cool. It's pretty crazy what can happen in 2 years. Just before I go, I want to ask you a favor. If you see someone who's heavily obese, don't judge them. You don't know their history. Many have been abused, and food is an escape for them, a way to feel better for a moment, even though they know it's not good for their health. So if you want to help them, maybe ask them to go to the gym with you or show them this video. If I lost weight, they can too. Thank you for listening to my story.
Age 16, I had my first boyfriend, Luke. I loved him to death, but he didn't feel the same about me. He often forgot to respond to my texts, and if he visited me, it was only to have fun. We would put on romantic music and make out passionately, but once we were finished, he said, "I have to go home now, do homework and stuff." "No, don't leave. Can't I give you a massage or cook you some food? I just want you to stay a bit longer." "Well, you can do my homework for me." I thought I just had to work hard to make him fall in love with me, but he took it all for granted, so I changed my approach and decided to make him jealous. I put on a tight dress and chatted up Tyson. He and my boyfriend Luke had been enemies for years. "You're so funny. I wish Luke was more like you." "Oh, he's a loser, no question. Why don't we go on a date tomorrow?" "Okay, but don't tell Luke about it." "Don't worry, my cutie." Wow, manipulating guys was so easy. Tyson and I met up at a cafe, and he kept telling me how much he liked me. Of course, I knew he was lying to get me into bed, but I played along. "I like you too, Tyson, but if you are serious about us, then you have to ask me out on a date while Luke and everyone else is listening." "And you will say yes?" "Of course I will." "Hey, cutie, can I ask you out on a date?" "F off, she's my girlfriend." "Why don't we let her decide who she likes more?" All of my classmates were looking at me, but instead of giving an answer, I pretended to get nervous and ran away. It turned into a big scandal. Everyone in our school talked about Luke and Tyson competing for me. "What was that today? Why didn't you tell Tyson to F off? I thought we were a couple." Why didn't you tell Tyson to F off? I thought we were a couple." "Because you never treat me like a girlfriend, like a princess. I need more attention." "Why didn't you tell me that before?" "Because you should have known on your own." "Okay, I'm sorry. Can you give me another chance?" "Sure, but first you have to prove that you really care about me." It was perfect. 2 boys fighting over me, and neither wanted to lose. I apologized to Tyson and said, "I'm sorry I ran away yesterday. I got nervous in front of all the people. But do you still want to go out with me this weekend?" "Of course, my little cutie. You know how much I love you." "Hey, Luke, I should tell you that Tyson and I will go on a date this weekend." "What? Don't do that. He's tricking you. He only pretends to love you so he can steal you away and embarrass me." "If you were a better boyfriend, you wouldn't have to worry about some other guy stealing me away from you." "Okay, let me take you out on a romantic dinner this Friday. And if it's good, you're going to cancel your date with Tyson, okay?" Well, Luke spent all his savings and took me out to the most expensive restaurant in the city. I'm not saying a guy can buy me with money, but if he is willing to make a big sacrifice, then it means that he's serious about me. Unfortunately, he ruined everything at the end. "So, will you cancel your date with Tyson tomorrow?" I knew it. You care more about winning against Tyson than about making me happy. Am I right? "No, that's not true. Come, let me take you home. I have another surprise for you." We went to his room, and it was filled with roses. Then he lifted me up and said, "I love you. I want to be with you forever." That night, he was so full of fire, and I loved it. But the next morning, I still left early because I had to get ready for my date with Tyson. And his date was so much better. It wasn't fancy, but he listened to what I had to say and showed that he cared. I felt so comfortable that I snuggled myself against him. "You are my big teddy bear." "You are my little princess." Yay! I always wanted a guy to call me his princess. Well, I hope this won't be our last date. I really enjoy spending time with you. The next morning, Tyson brought me to my classroom, like a gentleman. "You look so tempting. I wish I could kiss you." I felt his hands on my hips, and suddenly he lifted me up as if I weighed nothing. My legs wrapped around his waist, and we started kissing passionately in front of my whole class. When the teacher tried to split us up, Tyson whispered into my ear, "You are mine. Only mine." The next break, Luke came into the classroom screaming, "People say that you kissed Tyson. Tell me that's not true." "Yeah, sorry. I guess it's over between us." Luke was furious, and I understand why. People started teasing him nonstop, saying, "Tyson's still your girlfriend. What you gonna do about it, you little loser?" But I didn't care. I was just happy at how obsessed Tyson was with me. He invited me over to his place every single day so we could make out for hours. Unfortunately, his interest quickly faded. You don't want to meet on the weekend? I really need to learn for school. But we can learn together. Please? Yeah, okay. But when I arrived at his house, he said, Look, I've realized something. Actually, you aren't my type. I thought I really loved you, but now I understand that I just wanted to steal you away from Luke. I'm sorry for the problems I caused you. Ouch.